Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jody. My husband, David John, and I have a small farm in the panhandle of North Idaho. These are our stories and adventures, so welcome to Moose Flats Farm. So while David John's working on a project that I'm not sure if it's going to be up before or after this one, not going to show you any details on it, but have started painting the boards for the hoop house. And I'm going to go out into the garden, and you can prune your summer and winter squash. On your winter squash, you want to basically find the beginning of the plant, go to where you have your first set of fruit, and cut the tendril off. It will force what energy is in the plant straight into the pumpkin or whatever type of winter squash you're having. On the summer squash, just removing some of the vegetation does the same thing, puts it into the energy of the fruit that it's setting. Because unfortunately we are getting close to, probably in about 3 weeks to a month, that I will have my first frost. Not that I want it, but there is that potential. So let's grab the GoPro and the camera and let's go out in the garden. So I'll meet you there. So normally I would have pants on doing this just because the squash are very, very prickly, but it's uber muggy here in North Idaho and I'm sweating enough as it is. So I'm just going to go through, clean up some of the bigger outer leaves. Making sure that I'm just looking at one plant at a time. And you only want to remove about half of the vegetation. That looks pretty good on him. So it does have some vegetation left to photosynthesis, but now we can see down where the zucchinis are and everything. So let's work on the next one, which it has a fruit that needs to be picked. That looks pretty good on him. Let's get a... And we got a zucchini. And a vine. Where do you go? Where are you from? Insanity. So there, as you see, I have gone through and gotten a bunch of the vegetation removed. It will also bring some more airflow around those tomatoes and sunlight to help ripen them. Still need to go through the rest of those, but I did pull out a couple plants that had really no flowers on them, and I don't think they're gonna produce anything. So I'm gonna feed this wheelbarrow to the birds and get back to work on this, and I'll be back with you guys when I get a bunch done or it's time for me to stop. So back in a minute. Okay, so that gets this bed or this section kind of cleaned up. Wound up not really cutting back any of the butternut squashes because honestly can't tell where one vine starts and another one ends. So, but at least I can get in here to the zucchinis to harvest them a little bit better. So just have these two tangled beds, which will be interesting because you can see right down in there a bunch of zucchini, but covered with acorn squash vines. But I have got a good load of zucchini and summer squash there. Well guys, at least got myself a walkway through here. Got some of this pruned back in here. It's like you can see spaghetti squash there. Got baby ones all along there. And then I think that's my delicatessa squash. Some more, those are the delicatessas, just younger. And then this is all cleared out. Got pumpkin growing there. Let's see if I can get in here. And a pumpkin down there. And then I do have one Hubbard that I've found so far. Right down there, got a Hubbard squash. But I'm seeing lots of signs of hobo brown recluse spiders. Like, I don't know if you can see that webbing. Ooh. And then over here, got a bunch of webbing down in there. And whereas typically brown recluse is smash on sight, in the garden I'm kind of leaving them because they are a bug eater. They'll eat the aphids and any kind of bug they can get their mouths on, but they eat the bad bugs. So definitely going to want to be doing this with pants on. Just do not need to get bit. But I do have a little butternut there. Got a couple of them back in there. So we'll probably pick this up tomorrow morning when it's a little cooler, before the sun really gets out here, and see if we can at least make stepping spots to get to the tomatoes when they start ripening. Well guys, now that I got the adult peer pressure done, I weed eated and mowed the lawn. I love it. The day of and the day after it's mowed, it just looks so clean and pretty. And then we got to go up to the bird pen because I had 3 developments happen really in the last week. Two of them are bad, and one is really good. So let's take a look at the freshly mown lawn and garden. Just looks so neat and clean. The bed's all cleaned up. But as far as the squash area, kind of gave up on trying to prune the big heavy vines because it was getting to the point that I couldn't tell what was from what plant. So, but as you see, just in a couple days the zucchinis have recovered from being pruned. And this is just gonna be a jungle. And once the tomatoes start ripening, I will have to gingerly go in there to collect them. But on the, let's go find a shady spot. But on the 2 bad things is under David John's work shed, and I'll show you what's going on there. We think we've got a skunk. So here in the woodshed, gotta take the long way around. The other day, where this big log piece of wood and the round log are, I noticed that it looked really dug out going into his shed, and there was eggshells there. So I'm like, I'm gonna stop whoever's climbing under there from climbing under there. Well, skunks and raccoons hunt at night and sleep during the day. So with me putting that block there, it had to find another way out. So the next day I came out and just happened to look down. See if you can see it. But, whoa. Right down there. And see how there's a hole there? That's how the little booger got out from underneath the shed. Not sure where it got out of along there, but at least it didn't dig into the brooder part, because it easily could have come up in the brooder and could have been really horrific. And another thing we've had is a young red-tailed hawk that is been feeding her family on the baby ducks. So this morning I'm out here painting the sides for the hoop house, and yes, that will be coming up. And I saw her try to sweep in. Fortunately, all the geese were right there and made a big old ruckus and scared her off. So I quickly pounded a T-post in and grabbed good old Bob, our scarecrow, and neglected to look to see if there was bees, and there was, and I got stung right here on the ear about 4 times because they got caught in my earrings. So I sprayed them down, and Bob's now out here hopefully with the twirly bird gonna help prevent some of the birdies from being taken. But on the good news, in here, now be quiet, Mama. I've put up this bit of box wire and have cut 2 holes in it. They're small enough that all the birds can come in and out, and the babies were out just a little bit ago. And those are 2 juveniles that have never been in there. They're just in there stealing food. But the holes are just the right size. The big goslings and stuff can get in and out, and the big geese can't get in. So they're starting to get integrated with everybody. And she was really happy to have the babies out for the little bit that they were out. Well, guys, I know in the clip when I was up in the garden and didn't continue working because I had shorts on and I kept saying hobo and brown recluse. Somehow in my mind, I thought they were the same spider, 2 different names. No, they're not. They're 2 completely separate nasty spiders. The hobo their venom is not, it's poisonous, but it's not poisonous to humans according to the CDC. Because yes, I did go down the Google rabbit hole of the difference between the 2 of them, because I did get a bite on my inner thigh. I was sitting in the grass, and you don't feel a hobo spider when they bite you. It's about 4 to 8 hours later that you notice that you've been bitten. So, did the Google search on that and what's the difference between the 2. The brown recluse, that's the one you do not want to be bitten by, and that's the one that tries to hide, hence the reason it's a recluse. And typically bites from them are going to be on your hands or on your feet, because you're putting them somewhere where the spider is. The hobos are an extremely aggressive spider, especially right now at this time of year. I believe it was July, August, and September is their breeding season, so the males become even more aggressive, which they'll try to take on a human on a good day, but during breeding season, they're gonna get you. And I was sitting in the grass watering the one flower bed, and I think I was too close to that hobo spider. So definitely going to be taking precautions up in the garden, since I do have, and another difference is the hobo spiders, they do the really webby funnel shaped spider webs that I was showing you up there. So yeah, definitely have lots of hobos up there, so going to be definitely taking extra precautions, just because the spider bite from them is just really annoying. It lasts for, I'm like on day 4 now, and it's just a big red lump that itches. Not itching it, but it is, the swelling is going down, the redness is going down, so that's good. And on the story on the predator issue we were having in the duck pen, or the fowl pen, it was a skunk. We did have a heart trap it, and it is no longer here, and it did spray and emptied out its spray bladder in the duck house. And this is 4 days later, and it still is kind of stinky up there. Not like it was the first day. That was just and we had to be up there working, and after about 3 hours I was like, nope, can't do it anymore. This stench is making me sick to my stomach. So we came down and I got bit by the hobo. I would take you up and show you the goslings, because they're all now going in and out, running around with the whole flock of geese. But I just fed and watered, and they're going to be in the nursery eating and drinking and being happy little babies. So I hope you have a good day and a good week, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye for now.